Okay, now we're going to talk about chapter 6, which is called the normal distribution. We've already talked a little bit about this, but let's look at the properties first of all, which we'll talk a little bit more about those as we go. I'm going to leave that for you to copy off your their bell shape, the mean, median, mode, or equal and at the center. It's unimodal, it's symmetric, it's continuous. The curve never touches the x-axis. The total area under the curve is 1 or 100%. Let's fill this in really quick. This is the mean. Okay, this is the mean plus 1 standard deviation. This is the mean plus 2 standard deviations. This is the mean plus 3. This is the mean minus a standard deviation, minus 2, and minus 3. Okay? 68% of the data falls here. 95 falls here. And 99.7 falls there. Okay, and we've already talked about that. And we've talked about what each of these sections could represent too, if you needed to go that deep. The standard normal distribution is a normal distribution with a mean of 0 and a standard deviation of 1. Okay? Let's do a few problems. Okay, there is a new chart that we need for this section. So it will be posted, so you need to make sure that you look at that. You cannot do these with the calculator, okay? So if I look on page 322, let's do number 7. All right, directions say, find the area under the standard normal distribution curve. All right, let's talk about what we're doing. Here is a z-score. Now, z-score is what that z means. We found a z-score before. It was x minus the mean over the standard deviation. We plugged into that formula before. So it's saying that if you have a z-score of 0, that means you're at the middle. Okay, that's the location. And 0.98 is over here to the right. So we want to find the area in that section. Okay, so what we have to do is we have to go to our chart. Let me pull up the chart. Okay, and then we'll come back and I'll show you what to do with it. All right, here's the chart. Now, something you need to know about the chart, I wrote some little notes up here for you. When you're finding a z-score, you're finding the shaded part to the left, always. Here's the formula for z-score, which we've talked about. So here is a z-score of 0, 0.00. It says it's 0.5. It also wanted me to find the z-score of 0.98, so I go down to 0.9. I line it up with 0.08, which is right here, and that's 0.8365. What I'm going to do with those two values to find the area in between those is I'm going to subtract. So I would do 0.8365 minus 0.5000 gives me an answer of 0.3365. Okay, let's go to 11. 11 says to the right of this z-score, negative 2.14. All right, the negatives are on the opposite side. So I would flip over. Oh, I'm sorry, that's 0.29. looking at the wrong problem. Alright, so I'll line up 0.2 and 0.09. That gives me 0.6141. But I just told you, when you find a z-score, you're finding to the left, and this problem asks for the right. So I have to subtract that from 1, which is 0.3859. Okay. 13 asks for the right of a z-score of 2.01. Okay, once I look that score up, that's my answer. Okay, there's one more kind of problem in this section. So let's look at 27. Twenty-seven says find the probabilities for each using the standard normal. So I have this situation. 0.92. That means the same thing as between 0 and 0.92. And when you go to the chart, you are finding that corresponding probability. So I'll find the z-score for 0, the z-score for 0.92, and I will subtract those. Gives me an answer of 0.3212. Okay, 31 says z is larger than 2.51. So I'll find 2.51. But I'm going to have to subtract it from 1 because that's to the right. Answer is decimal 0060. Okay, and 33, 33 says the probability that z is less than negative 1.46. Now the negatives are on the back. Less than is what the chart gives me. So 33's answer is decimal 0721. Okay, that's it for that first section.